Whoa there, folks! Hold on to your armchairs because we have some royal drama that'll have you picking up your dropped jaw off the floor. You know, if there was ever a time for a hearty, full-blown, echoes through the hallways kind of scream, being part of the royal family would surely qualify. Imagine living in a palace with a mind-boggling 175 rooms, or staying in one of the 120 Grace and Favor apartments scattered throughout central London and Windsor, or perhaps even roaming around in the 50 acres of properties strewn across the picturesque Balmoral estate. Now, we can't be certain which of these luxurious properties witnessed the unfolding of a downright tragic drama at the dawn of 2021. But we do know one thing. Something really shook things up in the life of the royals. More specifically, in the life of Prince William. It was either late February or early March of that year. The pandemic was still doing its dreary dance around the globe. Queen Elizabeth was snug in her bubble, and Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, had just skedaddled to California to start their fresh, rookie life. Meanwhile, Prince Philip was in the hospital, and things were not looking good. Then, to top it all off, news surfaced that Meghan and Harry were slated to have a chat with the one and only Oprah Winfrey. Cue the dramatic music, folks. The dimmed studio lights, the confession-style talk show, and a whole heap of feels. It was all lined up. You know what? At this point, you could practically hear the alarm bells clanging all the way behind those grand electric gates. As we all gasped in anticipation, something previously unreported took place over in the UK. Prince William, as reported by Mail on Sunday's ace editor Charlotte Griffiths, did something quite bold. We're about to dish the details, folks, but maybe hold off on that snack for a second, because this revelation might turn your stomach just a bit. So here's the scoop. Charlotte claims that William, holed up in an unspecified royal residence, was completely shell-shocked after catching a glimpse of Harry's Oprah interview. He was left feeling sick to his stomach, and this is coming straight from Charlotte herself, who spilled the beans while on the Sussex Down Critics' frequent show on US News Channel K. She revealed this startling fact that's been echoing through the grapevine. All right, let's paint this vivid picture for you. Imagine this, folks. Before that Oprah interview, Prince William, usually the epitome of stoicism, was so fraught with worry that he lost his appetite. He was holed up all by himself in some royal residence, effectively isolating himself from the world. Word on the street is, he was a total wreck. Talk about a gut punch. This isn't the image we've come to associate with William, the stalwart Prince of Wales. He's normally the strong one, but here he was, a bundle of nerves, hiding away from the world. Just think about it. He was in such distress when the Oprah special aired. It's like seeing your favorite superhero without their cape. This version of William is so different from the William we know and love. But thanks to that Oprah interview, thanks to Harry and Meghan, thanks to the Netflix series, and heck, even thanks to a book that seemed just a smidge shorter than War and Peace, we're now seeing a William who's just as human as the rest of us. Traditionally, William has been portrayed as the sometimes stern and occasionally intimidating older brother, the one who unknowingly nudged Harry into one of his most controversial moves, wearing that infamous Nazi uniform, and then let him face the music alone. He was seen as someone who wasn't particularly welcoming to Meghan, and even rumored to have had a bit of a dust-up with Harry over Meghan's supposed treatment of their shared staff. Now contrast that image with the one of William heartbroken, alone, and on the verge of tears in a secluded royal property, with only a nervous footman outside his door, ready to hand him a tissue, or maybe even offer a comforting hug. Talk about a flip of the script. The new narrative, as presented by Charlotte, turns what we've known on its head. Picture William, usually so unshakable, now so upset he can't even eat. He's torn apart by Harry's decision to air the royal family's dirty laundry for all to see. It certainly gives us something to chew on, doesn't it? Here's the thing, folks. The angle that's been largely overlooked in the past 2 years, and especially since the Oprah interview. William has feelings too, and they matter just as much. No matter what side of the fence you're on regarding Harry, there's one undeniable fact that often gets swept under the rug. In this whirlwind, William lost a brother too. Let's face it, only a handful of people can truly fathom what it's like to grow up with parents whose marriage was crumbling before they could even toddle around. Imagine your parents' infidelities, their anger and their pain, playing out on the world stage, year after year. Picture this, being toddlers strapped in the back seat, The paparazzi's cameras chasing after you through London's streets. Imagine having to step out in a crisp school uniform as a child, shaking hands with hundreds of strangers, the pressure and the scrutiny bearing down on you. William and Harry, these two princes, are the only ones who truly understand that experience. They're the only ones who, as boys, had to shoulder the unimaginable burden of trailing behind their mother's coffin through London's streets, under the gaze of 1 billion people watching on TV. And now they can't even lean on each other. If that's not a tragedy, folks, I don't know what is. But wait, there's more. Picture Catherine, the ever-charming Duchess of Cambridge, also known as William's better half. Can you imagine her curled up, almost fetal, wondering if the former nanny might be available to stroke her hair and sing her a lullaby? Well, plot twist. Apparently, Kate was standing by her man. According to Charlotte, Kate was right there beside William, like a steadfast shield. She was feeling the hurt, too. Earlier this month, Valentine Lowe from The Times revealed in the updated edition of her book that it was Kate who played a pivotal role in trying to pull Meghan and Harry back into the fold after that explosive Oprah interview, just under 2 days later. Now here's where things get even more interesting. You remember that infamous "recollections may vary" statement from the palace after the Oprah interview, right? Well, according to an insider, it was Kate herself who insisted that this line or something to that effect had to be included. Otherwise, everything said would stand as the absolute truth. That's our Kate, stepping up to the plate when it matters most. Charlotte Griffiths mentioned that seeing her husband go through such emotional turmoil likely steeled Kate's resolve. She might have a reputation for being on the quieter side, but don't be fooled, folks. When it comes to defending her husband, she's all in. Over the years, various reports suggest that William's emotions have taken quite a ride, from sadness to anger, especially after the book hit the shelves. A close friend of the prince said that William was feeling anxious, upset, and seething inside. Come April, another good friend of William's told the Daily Beast that the prince will never trust Harry again. The raw hurt and betrayal had turned into something much stronger: hatred. William will apparently never forgive Harry for the damage he's inflicted on their family. Fast forward just over a month, the late Prince Philip passes away, and Harry returns to the UK for the funeral. A meeting between William, Harry, and their father, King Charles, doesn't go as planned. At one point, their father pleads, "Boys, please don't make my last years miserable." This raises some questions. How did William really react to Harry's Netflix documentary series? How did he react to the book? Was he more hurt? Or was he simply furious? We might never get the full picture, but regardless of William's feelings over the past several months, there's a silver lining here. Word has it that the prince has regained his appetite. During a recent charity afternoon tea, William shared his opinions on which cakes would get demolished first. It seems like the dust has started to settle, and William is getting back to his usual self.